She'll be explaining the rules, and I'll be here regulating the emotions and working with you all through the chat box if you all have any doubts. So I'm requesting each and every one of you all to abide by the rules which will be explained right now. Thank you. Handing it over to the host of the event, Shivangi. You can take over.
Yes, thank you so much, Adolfina. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shivangi Tanwar. I am a counseling psychologist at Mindtribe. I have been practicing for around 3 years. And after completing my bachelor's and master's in clinical psychology, I'm here to provide you with the quality counseling and support. I specialize in helping people with relationships, anxiety, depression, self-esteem, and workplace issues. I use an eclectic approach. And I use therapeutic approaches like DBT, CBT, humanistic therapy, mindfulness, etc. And with me, I have Adolfina. She's also a dedicated psychologist at Mindtribe who will be co-hosting the workshop. And we are committed to providing a supportive therapeutic space for each one of you to help you grow and continue to shine. With this, we warmly welcome you to the Art of Letting Go. Let me quickly explain you some rules as well for the workshop. We aim to have a productive, informative, and engaging workshop. To ensure everything runs smoothly, please follow these simple instructions. Please keep your microphones and cameras off. If you would like to share something, use the raise hand feature on Google Meet. To promote a two-way exchange of ideas and avoid one-sided conversation, I have included specific segments where I will invite you to unmute yourself and speak. Please take advantage of these opportunities to share your thoughts or ask any questions. Throughout the session, feel free to type any comments or questions in the chat box. Ms. Adolfina will address them as much as possible if I'm unable to do so. Also note that this workshop is being recorded. Only the presentation and audio will be recorded. No names would be recorded, and the messages that you shared in the chat box, in that also your names would not be visible. So you can go ahead and share your thoughts, and we would keep your IDs confidential. Right. Okay. I believe Raj and Manu has a question. They've raised their hands. Before we get started, is there something they would like to share? Raj, all right. Okay, so our primary language for today here is English. But if you have any questions regarding any topics, आप उनको chat box में डाल दो, and we will try कि हम अच्छे से assist कर पाएं any questions जो आपके होंगे. But today हम जो language use करेंगे, we are going to primarily use English so that everyone from अलग-अलग country parts से understand कर पाएं. Right. Okay. Now let's get started. We often find ourselves in situations where it's frightening to let go of someone or something we love, even when they cause us pain and bring chaos into our lives. It can be equally daunting to hold on to them and keep them in our lives. When both options instill fear, making the right choice becomes a difficult task. Now, I have a question for you. You can do you feel that you are holding on to something or someone that has caused you pain or stress? You can type your answer in the chat box, give me a thumbs up, or unmute yourself. Right, I see some yeses, there are a few no's as well. All right, thank you so much for sharing. Okay, someone is saying that they have mixed emotions as well, right? Sometimes these things can also be confusing. All right, would you like to share how that situation made you feel? You can choose from the emotions listed on the screen, or if there's something else you feel, you can feel free to share any other emotion. So anyone wants to type in the chat box? Okay, Ananya is saying every single one, and Sunny is saying anxious, guilty, all right. Okay, so I see that we feel so many emotions when we are letting go of someone or something that's causing us pain. Right, all these emotions, let me tell you, are very valid, and these can be really challenging to handle, and we will try to understand how to navigate through these challenging emotions today. Thank you so much for sharing sharing your answers. Struggling to let go of someone or something causes you stress and can evoke a wide range of emotions. So, as someone said, so many emotions they're feeling, not just one. So, it's sometimes a mixture of emotions as well. I have another question for you on a little lighter note. So, are there any Coldplay fans with us today? And for all those, okay, I see yes and a heart. Okay, all right. So I want you to guess the song. So I'll also give you a hint. The lyrics are somewhat like when you try your best but you don't. I also have a few options: care, no, succeed, and cry. All right, one person got it right. Okay, succeed. That's right, and this was the second hint, and I think one person got it right. So the person said "Fix You." So this is the song. Yes, yes, you guys are right. So let's have a look at the lyrics here. Let's have a look. So they convey a message about the challenges and importance of taking the risk of letting go. So I know there are so many challenging emotions that you've shared, and I wanted to give you, an idea from few literature points as well. And I believe that this is something that a lot of people these days have been relating to because they are also coming to India to perform. And here's a breakdown of the meaning here. They suggest that, no matter where you are in life, whether you are experiencing highs or lows, success or failures, the feelings of love and attachment can be really strong. It talks about difficulty of letting go of something or someone you deeply care about, even if it might be necessary for your well-being. But if you never try, you'll never know just what you're worth. The lyrics are so beautiful and they convey that you might never realize that you are worth what you're worth if you don't take a chance and let go. The song encourages us to take the leap and try new things and make changes even when it's difficult. I know it's hard, but we can navigate through these challenges together. When we talk about letting go, it's important to understand that it does not mean giving up. These two concepts are very different. Letting go is a positive, intentional release, while giving up carries a negative association to it. It has an association of resignation and withdrawal. Letting go signifies strength and courage. It is not a defeat, but a win. It reflects the wisdom to recognize when something is no longer serving you and the bravery of moving forward. For example, if Adolfina leaves a bad job to pursue a healthier and more fulfilling opportunity, prioritizing her well-being and growth, it will be counted as letting go, going towards something positive and something to move towards and moving towards something better. Now, if I abandon a challenging work project out of frustration and defeat without seeking any help or any alternative solutions, that would be counted as giving up. So when we talk about letting go, we are taking mindful step towards our goal. Anyone wants to give an example from their life, of letting go or giving up? All right, I see a few messages. For me, letting go is really tough. It can happen. I lost it. Okay. Can be letting go is really tough, be it a person or a small thing. IDKY, I have so many emotions attached. I know we have a lot of emotions attached to something, and it's not something that you can do very quickly in a day or two. It requires a lot of strength from your side. Right. I see a few raise of hands as well. Anyone wants to unmute and say something here? Akanksha, is there something that you want to say?
Yeah, sure. Hi. So for me, since I am so governed with my emotions, so because of such reasons, letting go of somebody or some emotion or memory or situation it gets very difficult for me to let it go or move forward from that. Because it's like because it has it's fine totally, because it carries so much of emotions, because I feel with letting go, you are attached with so many emotions at the same time. It's just not one emotion that we are dealing with. So
Right.
yeah, so I want to know like how we can move forward with I think maybe feeling less pain, maybe I guess feeling less hurt.
Right. Thank you for sharing. And I know it can be really challenging. It can be any person, it can be anything when we attach to something or someone. And even, we feel that maybe this is not the right fit. Letting go can be very, very difficult. And we will also move ahead and discuss a few techniques that you can, use and then see if you have applied these or if you want to apply these. And okay, Dimple also has something to say. Dimple, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, hi. I just want to say that letting go, for example, a job that you wanted, you got a job, but that job didn't sustain for some reason, health reasons, timing reasons, whatever. Not letting that defeat eat you up, but going past it and not saying that I will not do anything which has, I will never do this kind of thing ever again. So, it could be something like that.
Right. Yeah, that was a great example. Thank you for sharing. Okay, let's have one more person answer because we have so many things that we have to discuss. Shruti, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, it's basically like if we choose to let go, then the very immediate time you are a emotionless person for them. And it usually happens like that. I don't know about it.
Right. When you're letting go, I would say that you're not an emotionless person. As we saw in the start also, there are so many emotions that you feel when you're even letting go of something. Although you have decided to let go, that's your decision. But that does not mean that it comes to you easy. So definitely not emotionless. There are so many things that you have to go through, all the challenges that you have to go through, and all those emotions and challenges are valid.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shruti. Reju, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Please type in the chat box because there are also like a lot of things I want to discuss. And yeah, we can come back to your question again, or if you want to share in the chat box, you can go ahead and Adolfina ma'am would be there. Thank you. All right. We all love love. So here is one relationship centering example also. We talked about some job related examples. So if you end a long-term relationship that has become unhealthy or toxic, choosing to prioritize your mental health and personal growth, that's letting go. And trust me, that is not giving up. And let's know, why do we get attached? Let's understand why we are getting attached from a psychological perspective today. Oops, we have something here. Okay, we have an ad break. Just like those moments on YouTube when a quick ad pops up, we have a short ad break for you. Don't worry, this will be quick and super beneficial, super important for you. So what exactly is one-on-one counseling? It is a personalized, confidential chat between you and a trained therapist. Imagine having someone who really listens, understands, and helps you figure things out. And now let's bust a big myth also. Many think that counseling is only for those who are unwell, and that is wrong. It is for all of us. Counseling is for anyone wanting to be their best self. If you want better relationship, more friends, a spot in your dream college or a dream job, counseling can help with all that. It's about making the best version of you. And let me quickly tell you about how Mindtribe is is going to provide such helpful support. So our counselors are super talented and we are super affordable. These are the two things that makes us stand apart. With sessions ranging from 500 to 5,000 rupees, you can choose the one that best fits your pocket. And also we have psychologists for different specializations. And your first session is absolutely free. Once you're comfortable, you can choose from our affordable packages, empowering minds, transforming lives. That's what we do at Mindtribe. And if you want to know these offers, please stay with us towards the end. Any questions anyone has, any quick questions that you think should be addressed right now, you can ask me or type it in the chat box.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Manu, go ahead.
एक्चुअली मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि एट लास्ट जैसे कुछ टाइम के बाद मे बी अ ईयर 6 मंथ्स चीज़ें जब थोड़ी थोड़ी सेटल डाउन होने लगती है, वी गो वी मूव ऑन एंड वी फाउंड समवन न्यू और फिर सब कुछ सही होता है, फिर बाद में जब वहाँ से हमें कमिटमेंट मिलने लगता है तो हम किसी चीज़ पे होल्ड ऑन क्यों हो जाते हैं, जैसे किसी एक्स पे, किसी मेमोरीज पे?
Right, that was a very nice question, and this was the next thing that I wanted to discuss with you. So we were going to know that why do we get attached to others? Okay, and Shaurya Jain is asking a question regarding the counseling sessions. Miss Adolfina, please go, answer that question. I'll be going ahead with this as Manu asked. So we get attached to others from social psychology's point of view. We'll understand how social psychology makes us understand this fact. So we from social psychology's POV, we have our need for belongingness. Human beings are social creatures. We crave connection, and this need drives us to seek out a relationship for support and companionship. Our social identity plays a crucial role there too. We take a sense of self from the groups we belong to, whether it's family, friends, or cultural groups. These identities helps us understand our place in the world, providing us with the purpose and self-esteem. So it's not, just you. All of us are born to get attached to people. And moving on, we'll also understand how we get attached to things as well. Right. Now, imagine living alone all by yourself with no other person on the planet. Even Tom Hanks in the movie Castaway could not do it. This was him without people. So we need people. We get attached to people. And why do we get attached to things? Our tendency to get attached to things, goals, and results is driven by a blend of emotional, cognitive, and social factors. Firstly, emotional security plays a key role. These attachments help us regulate our emotions, offering solace during stressful times and a sense of accomplishment that boosts our self-esteem. Secondly, according to cognitive dissonance theory, when we put effort into obtaining things, we value them. So if we have worked towards, say, going into a college, and when we go there, we will be, extremely valuing the college and the things that are around because we've put in effort to get that. Identity and self-concept also influence attachment. Our goals and achievements often become intertwined with our self-identity, representing our values, beliefs, and aspirations. Social and cultural factors further shape our attachments. Achievements and possessions bring a social recognition and validation. And we also have neurobiological mechanisms. The brain's reward system makes us feel good. It releases feel-good chemicals when we get things we always wanted to. And hence, our attachment is reinforced. Lastly, from an evolutionary perspective, attachment enhances survival, and it has been seen in various researches that that's why we also get attached. So interestingly, if someone from the mid 1900s, mostly our parents' age, tell you that it's new to get attached to your lover or materials, tell them that the need for attachment has been around since forever. Yes. Okay. Now let's move on. Now we talked about why are we getting attached. Now, why are we talking about letting go? If we are getting attached, it's natural, then why should we let go of these attachments? Letting go of situations that hinder your growth is crucial for personal development. When we invest all our energy into fixing things that resist repair, we deprive ourselves of the stability and peace we deserve. It's important to recognize when something is beyond saving and redirecting our focus towards areas that nurture our progress. Embracing change, prioritizing your well-being, and letting go of what no longer serves you. Your energy is too valuable to waste on what won't help you grow. I know it's hard, but you also deserve that energy. You also deserve that efforts. All right, now we have an activity. So if you want, you can grab a pencil and a piece of paper, and you can do it in your head. So this is a circle of control activity. And it is a powerful tool for letting go because it helps you distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot control. So here is this simple version of this activity. In this, you will see two segments. So one is things you can control or things you can influence. And then you have things you have no control over. And I see Ananya is raising her hand. I'll get back to you. Just let me quickly, discuss this activity. Right. And okay, so this helps you focus your energy, direct your energy to efforts towards the areas within your control and influence. So this will give you an idea of the things that you have control over and things that you don't have control over. And accept that you cannot control everything. Let's look at the circle here. Inside the circle, we can see how much time I give to others, how I communicate, what are my boundaries. So these are things I can control. And outside the circle are things that I cannot control or no other person can. If they give me time, if there's a job recession, will they like my song, what they value. So these are the things that I cannot control. I can keep putting my loved one into therapy. I can and keep encouraging them to go to therapy if I feel like they need help. But it's not under my control if he or she follows that therapist. I can work hard, but the recession is not under my control. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. Right. And let's quickly also discuss how is this helpful. By focusing on what you can control and accept, and what you can't, you reduce the stress of frustration, making it easier to let go of things that does not serve your growth. This shift in perspective helps you allocate your resources more effectively, leading to a greater stability and peace of mind. But yes, with time, this will happen. And I really encourage you to try this activity. And now it's your turn. So let's take a few minutes here and do this activity together. So what can you fit in the inner circle and what can you fit in the outside of the circle? You can unmute and you can share or you can type in the chat box. All right, still we are doing the activities. I really want you to think and put the things in these areas. And Ananya, if you have any question, you can unmute. I see you've been raising your hand.
Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible loud and clear.
Okay, I have just two quick questions. First was from the slide where you told us that we are social animals and we have a need for belonging and of social identity. So that's why we feel like have connections, to have people in our life, to have things in our life that make us feel identified and valued. So my question is like, why is it for some people it is very easy to let go of things, of people from their life, and very difficult for others? Like I see some people around me, they don't have any difficulty in tossing out some of their childhood toys or even simplest of the things like these. So, and with people as well, they don't have any issue with letting them go from their life, and they don't even try to like mend things with them. They are okay if the person is staying, if the person is leaving, if the things that remind of them of some good memories stay or don't exist anymore. They don't have any effect on their well-being. Why is it so that some people are like this and some others range to being so attached?
Shai, that's a very great question. And there are a lot of things that, play a part in this. So what if there's a person who is easily letting go of things? So things like your attachment style that has been there, that develops during the initial childhood days as well. And how well a person is showing. Sometimes people are, they look like easygoing, but they hold on to a lot of things. They bottle up a lot of things. And some people also let go of things easily because they know, they might be aware of things like, for example, here we can see they know that what all things they can control, what is not in their control. So they understand. So then we will also talk about things like radical acceptance. That's from dialectic behavior therapy. So that will show you, how easily you can also let go of things. It's also not very easy to let go. There are emotions attached. There are, their feelings of being hurt also attached. So it's also not very easy to let go. Some people try to manage it really well. And yeah, we can also learn how to do that. And some people, they don't just show that they are also hurting. So maybe in their own space they might be. But yeah. All right. Coming back to the question. All right. Thank you so much. Sonakshi and Akanksha, I'll get back to you. Just let's also do this activity together. And I see so many answers in the chat box. Prataksha saying my performance and efforts are your control. That's absolutely right. And I'm not able to pronounce your name, Nagi Obok. Please correct me if I'm wrong. You can unmute and correct me. I'm so sorry. So out of your control are thoughts, ability to reciprocate efforts, feelings, actions. Yeah, that's really nice. And so many people have answered. Thank you so much for sharing. And right. Kanksha, do you want to share something related to the circle of control?
I just have a small question.
Okay, yes.
I just wanted to know that how a person can differentiate about the fact that they are bottling up their emotions and they're letting go of emotions in a positive way.
Right. Okay. So this also takes a lot of awareness about yourself. So you can either have that sense of awareness, and I would say that therapy really works here because the therapist can help you see from the other perspective. Maybe talking about it to a loved one, a trusted person can also help you see from the other perspective that if you are letting go or if you are bottling it up. So when you bottle up, you are not aware of your emotions there. You are not mindful of the things that are happening. You just try to avoid them and run away. But while you're letting go, you are aware, you are well informed about your feelings and you're facing them. So you're going towards them instead of going away. So when you go towards them, you're able to solve the issue and then move forward. Right. I hope I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Dimple and Sonakshi, I know you also want to share something. Would it be okay if we come back to you? If it's regarding circle of control, we can ask, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Otherwise, we can go ahead and I'll get back to your questions later. Will that be okay? All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Anyone wants to share anything that they've put inside the circle of control or outside your control? I've read a few of them in the chat box. Dimple, do you want to go ahead? Do you want to share something related to this?
I want to say that what I can control is the way I react to situations. What the situation is there, it will not change. But the way I change my reaction to it, maybe by journaling it, can be a great way of understanding what is in my control, what is out of my control. For example, if you're waiting for a friend's call and that friend doesn't call you and you feel upset about it, but you can't control the fact that person didn't call you or wish you or anything like that. But you can ensure that you keep a little distance from the person, or you communicate that same to the other person that you felt discomfort with this. It depends upon what kind of relationship you have with the other person. Just an example. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a very great example. And you also added journaling. Journaling is also a good way to untangle your thoughts and write them in a very structured manner, which helps you sort things out. So thank you so much for your answer. Yashasvi and Sophia, would you like to go ahead and type in the chat box? I know I also want to interact with all of you, but we also have, we're just halfway through. We have so many things to share. Right. Thank you so much. Okay, Yashasvi, is there something that you want to say? Is it urgent? Or can you type it in the chat box?
No, it's completely all right. Actually, I did it by mistake. I'm so sorry.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much. And I want to say it one more time. I want to interact with all of you, but we also have so many things to learn today. So that's why Ms. Adolfina ma'am is here to help you out through your questions and your doubts. Right. Okay. And we also have radical acceptance here. So let's take a few. So let's see when we did this activity. Now let's also look at this concept of radical acceptance that has its origin in dialectic behavior therapy and has its roots in Buddhism. So it's very scientific. It's from dialectic behavior therapy. And very interestingly, it comes from, an ancient literature, Buddhism. So there's something that we can learn here. Some things are beyond our control, and learning to practice radical acceptance can reduce our suffering. Radical acceptance is the ability to accept situations outside our control without judgment. Thereby, we are reducing the suffering they cause. By accepting things as they are, you can acknowledge your emotions without denying, avoiding, or ignoring the situation. This approach can be an effective way to process your emotions and manage difficult experiences. It's easier said than done, guys. Radical acceptance requires a lot of practice. So nobody is, master here, but we can learn and we can slowly grow and, see how this can help us in the future with our challenges. Many people mistakenly think that non-attachment means not feeling emotions. This is not true. Non-attachment is about ignoring our emotions. Non-attachment is not about ignoring our emotions. I'm really sorry. Instead, it's not about clinging on to them. Non-attachment involves setting an intention to not let the pain turn into prolonged suffering. We can experience pain without letting it dominate our lives. So we have to feel our feelings, but we have to know the correct way to deal with these feelings. By practicing non-attachment, we can prevent our pain from escalating into ongoing suffering. A key aspect of non-attachment is observing your thoughts and feeling without judgment. This is very important, guys. We are feeling our things, but without any judgment. We are not saying that, oh my God, you are so weak to feel these things. This is a judgment. This is not how it should be. Your feelings are valid, but they do not dictate who you are, what you are. This practice often is referred to as mindfulness, which helps us to maintain emotional balance. When we watch our thoughts and feelings non-judgmentally, we avoid being overwhelmed by negative emotions. Now let's have okay, so Manu has something to share. Is it regarding this previous slide? You can go ahead.
Ma'am, I have a question that when someone treats us very badly, maybe like from my experience, I was chasing someone like from 2 years ago, and that person didn't accepted me, and still I chased that person. Then few times ago I left it and I went away and I tried to move on, and somehow some days in my mind it clicks like what if that person would have loved me, would have been it's a good thing or it's bad, all those things.
I'm so sorry, Manu, that you have to feel all these difficult, things.
Why
yes.
What if?
Yeah, so I'm really sorry. I think I missed you in between. So you are saying that you get stuck on what if this happens,
yes,
right?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Why what if? हर बार ये दिमाग में क्वेश्चन है ना कि अगर ये चीज हो जाता तो चीजें डिफरेंट होती and
right. So these are, yeah. So sorry. You want to go ahead? You want to add something else?
Yes, ma'am. So जैसे लाइफ निकल रही है मेरी, चीजें पहले से तो बहुत सॉर्ट आउट हो गई, लेकिन हमेशा वही क्वेश्चन आता है व्हाट इफ, एंड इट इज वेरी ओवरवेलमिंग फॉर मी व्हेन इट स्ट्रक्स इन माय हेड कि व्हाट इफ.
I know this is something that a lot of us also face, and you're not alone in this. So, when we do something, we put in so much love and care and emotional investment into something or someone, and that is not turned out into the way we want it to. So we feel like, what if aisa ho jata? What if we would have done something else? So there's so many what if questions related. So it's also important to understand what is the reality of it. Was that person, the person that you're putting in effort, was it reciprocating? Was it deserving enough for your emotions? Because when you give love, when you give care, you're also supposed to get it back from the person. So it's going to be a long journey to accept, to let go of this. I know, because you put in so much effort and love. So yes, you can also take down a few things. You can try the circle of control activity. You can see that I can control this. I can control my feelings, my thoughts. I can control, say, taking care of myself. I can't control that person reciprocating. But let me tell you, going ahead, there's also one segment that I would want you to see, and I think that you can take back a lot of it from it. So stay tuned. It's just going to be here in like a few slides away. Right. Okay. Okay, now let's go ahead to quick clarity. So let's avoid some confusion and check these 2 points. Radical acceptance does not mean that you agree with what is happening or what has happened to you. So imagine you've lost your job unexpectedly. Radical acceptance doesn't mean you're okay with being unemployed or you agree that it is fair. Instead, it means acknowledging the reality of your job and accepting that it has happened. This acceptance allows you to focus on what you can control, like updating your resume, applying for new jobs, planning for your finances, rather than wasting your energy in denial or anger. By accepting the situation non judgmentally, you're creating a space for hope and proactive steps towards finding another job. And next, some people might think that forgiveness and radical acceptance are same. That's not true. In fact, they are very different. Forgiveness involves extending an act of kindness to the other person, whereas radical acceptance is the extension of an act of kindness towards yourself. Now, let's also look at one more example. So, following his recent divorce, Dave is struggling to accept the situation emotionally. He calls his ex-wife daily, even though she rarely answers. He's not moving on with his life because he expects his ex-wife to return any day. Dave starts to feel upset. He tells himself, this will get worked out. She's just going through a phase. In this case, Dave is resisting reality. Now, let's see how with radical acceptance, we can accept the reality and let go of what is not real. Dave is upset, but is beginning to heal. He understands that his ex-wife is moving on. He no longer calls her. He's trying to rebuild his life by spending more time with his friends and family. There are still days when he feels lonely and it's hard to accept his wife is gone, but he accepts it. He tries healthy coping mechanisms to deal with the pain. So, he can be in different phases. So there's denial, anger, bargain, depression, acceptance when we lose someone. So he knows that if I'm in this phase, I can use these coping mechanisms to deal with the pain. With time, bad days will become less frequent and good days will be more. Now, there's something interesting, letting go in Gita. This is something I also came across recently and I thought I'll share it with you guys. Let's travel back in time and hear the story about Arjun's dilemma in Bhagavad Gita. Arjun, a mighty warrior, finds himself in a moral crisis. As he stands on the battlefield, he sees his relatives and friends on both the sides, ready to fight to death. With grief and confusion, Arjun puts down his bow and refuses to fight. He questions every purpose of the war, overwhelmed by the fear of losing loved ones and the guilt of killing. Seeing this turmoil, Krishna, his guide, emphasizes the importance of performing one's duty without attachment to results. He encourages Arjun to let go of his fears and attachments, to rise above his emotions and focus on duty as a warrior. Krishna teaches that one must act with righteousness and dedication, but remain detached to the outcome. So we can learn something here. And also, interestingly, not just Gita, we have so many religious literatures from different religions that we can learn so much from. The Bhagavad Gita and also the Dhammapada, which is from Buddhism. So in chapter 2, verse 47 of Bhagavad Gita, we see that you have the right to perform your prescribed duties, but you're not entitled to the fruits of your action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, but not be attached to the inaction. And in Buddhism, we can see this quote, from craving arises sorrow, from craving arises fear. For him who is free of craving, there is no sorrow, and hence wherein the fear. Right. Okay, one more interesting thing I wanted to share with you guys. So we talked about the old literature. Let's talk about something new, a contemporary reference. I wanted to share this beautiful quote from the author of The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. If you are brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello. It takes a lot of strength to say goodbye, and if you're brave enough to do that, life will come with a new hello, a new good thing. We can learn from these old and new pieces of literature and reflect on what is causing us pain and what we can let go. Let's talk also. I also want to know from you guys, you can share from your old literature. I got to know about these three things, the Bhagavad Gita, and two things actually, Bhagavad Gita and this one from Buddhism. And this is a new thing. So, but if you know something, that your grandparents and parents have shared, or also if you've seen in movies, there are so many movies that we see. Do you want to share anything? Rakshita, Ananya, anything you want to share from your, from your
I have a hi.
Yes.
First of all, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I have heard two things which are very experimental. Like one is this holding a glass with a full of water for a longer time, and the more you hold it, the more heavier it feels. That was one thing. And the one more thing was a general proverb which is in my mother tongue. It's Kannada, and it translates like this. It's like if you worry a lot about things, then you are going towards death more. Like any other, you know. For example, whatever we have seen, like anxiety, depression, and suicide rates, and all of that, that was a simple proverb which explained everything in one line. Telling if you keep on worrying on a thing for a longer time, then it becomes your reality. So, yeah.
Wow, that was so great. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. And we have Shubham also. Would you like to share something?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
हाँ जी मैम, हमारे तो मतलब पेरेंट्स और हमारे जो ये रिलीजियस बुक्स हैं, धर्म ग्रंथ हैं, इसमें तो यही कहते हैं कि मतलब जैसा इंसान कर्म करता है उसे वैसा ही फल मिलता है, जैसी करनी वैसी भरनी। और उसमें बात सही भी है, मतलब पूरी तरह गलत नहीं है। जैसा हम बीज बोते हैं वैसा ही हमें फल मिलता है।
Right. Okay. So I can take it in this way that, you know, we can put in our efforts in the right direction, but we cannot expect, you know, if it's going to be very positive, very negative. So let's not cling on to the results. Let's keep doing good things. Yes, while doing good things, we would want good results also. That is very, you know, that's how it is. We can't be very detached to the results, but we can try to not cling on to them. So thank you so much. And I see Prataksha sharing that heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Okay, that's very nice. Thank you for sharing. And okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for sharing your beautiful thoughts. Now we come to this puzzle. And I am not sure. Okay, Ananya has raised her hand. Do you want to share something?
Hello?
Yes.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible. Is it regarding this side?
Yeah, yes, regarding that side only. Recently, I've gone through a breakup, and my mother has been my biggest support. And I was just sorting some things out in my room. I was basically deep cleaning, and I got to a box where I've kept some things that reminded me of the person. And she just saw me. She didn't say anything like, yeah, this made me remind you of him or something like that. She just told me a beautiful thing to look this in a new perspective, and I just wanted to share it. She just said ki every person, like this applies to most of the people that come in our life. Every person that comes in our life, or even you, if you goes in someone's life or be in someone's life for a while, there is a reason. Like they have to be there for, like, to create beautiful memories, or to just make you understand something, or to teach you a lesson or anything. They come, they play their part in your life, and then they leave when they have to leave. So just don't bother about this. When the time will come, another person will come. Just let the things flow on their own pace, and you will be better with time.
Wow, that was so beautiful. And thank you for sharing what your mom has shared with us, and as mom has shared, and thank you for sharing that with us. It's really, you know, a really good thing that we can take back and reflect on. And similarly to what, thank you. Yes, similarly to what you were saying, I think you can relate to this. And also, there was one more question that, you know, you put in, somebody asked that we put in so much effort, and we also have that, you know, space where we see what will happen, what if. I think that was the question. So I think this is something that you can also look into, and it's also important for all of us, so we can understand you know, this life as a puzzle. So imagine your life is this puzzle. Each piece represents a different aspect of your life, your relationships, your career, your passions, your dream, etc. So many pieces. I've only added 4, but there are multiple pieces, as many as you want, because it's your puzzle, it's your picture. But what happens when some of these pieces are lost? When you let go of one piece, a void is created. So when you're letting go of something that's not fitting well, a space will be there. This void can cause discomfort, uncertainty, and a feeling of incompleteness. Now you can fill this void. I know this is going to be hard to find one more piece to fill this void and fix it, but we can do this together. So there are 3 effective ways you can do so. Engage in activities that require your thought and concentration, focusing your mind on a challenging task that can help you redirect your energy and attention. You can also take a screenshot and write this down. And you can also volunteer, do a good deed, and contribute to a cause or a person. Act of kindness and service can create a sense of purpose and fulfillment. So you're giving the care to something or someone. You're not just holding back to the care. Creating a competing emotion. This means finding joy and excitement or peace in new experiences or new hobbies that can counterbalance the void. So these are a few things that are also there in the dialectic behavior therapy. So from there, I've taken these 3 points that I feel we can use to fill the void that that has been created when we let go of something. All right. And then we have an activity. So let's finish off with a grounding technique called a butterfly hug. We have discussed such heavy emotions and thoughts. Let's be proud of ourselves for dealing with these challenges and show ourselves some love because we deserve that love. And you can practice this grounding technique anytime you like, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed by difficult emotion. Letting go of something is not easy, but grounding techniques like these can help you feel better. So you can cross your hands. You can cross your thumbs and hands in front of you and keep your palms on your shoulders as it's shown in the picture. Alternatively, you can also place your palms on your arms or thighs if that feels more comfortable. So you can do any of these, and if you feel like something you wanna do something else, you can also do that. So what we have to do is we have to, like the butterfly, the wings of butterfly, how they are tapping. We have to create similar things. So begin to gently tap your shoulders, arms, or thighs alternatively, as it's shown here, in a very gentle manner. This technique helps reduce the intensity of your emotion. So when we are going towards letting go, we also need to give ourselves some love for doing so many great things. Let's do the butterfly hug together. So if you prefer to do this later, that's also okay. Feel free to take notes and practice it whenever you are comfortable. Find your comfortable spot. It can be done crossing your thumbs and keeping the palms on your shoulders, or simply tapping your shoulders and thighs. You can close your eyes or keep them partly open. Right. Okay. So I'm going to, help you through this if you're doing it with me. Otherwise, you can take a few notes as well. I'm doing it here with you guys. Take a deep breath in, and when you reach the top, hold it for a moment and exhale. As naturally as you can, exhale, breathe very naturally. You can try this technique anytime and anywhere. Just keep tapping your palms on your shoulders or your arms or your thighs. You can add affirmations also to this. You can add things like, whatever I choose, I will be okay. I can do this. I am strong, and things are difficult right now, but it will be okay. Choose any affirmation that fits your situation and repeat it to yourself in your head or verbally. You can take a deep breath in, exhale, continue tapping and breathing in the way that feels calm and natural. Keep doing this until you feel calmer, and tap for as long as you like. Once you feel you have reached the state of calmness, let go of your hands and rest them on your body. Give yourself a hug and continue breathing. I will pause here for a few seconds if you want to do this exercise for few more seconds. And if you have done this exercise with me, guys, here, so if you want to share anything in the chat box, and if you want to, tell me how you're feeling or rate how you're feeling, if you've done this exercise, feel free to rate how you're feeling. 1 star being the lowest and 5 being the highest. Oh, Madhushri saying 4. All right. Okay, 4. I feel heavy. All right. Okay, so you can do this for some more time. I see someone saying that she is feeling heavy. Yeah, we can do it for some more time and also analyze what are these feelings of, what is making you feel heavy? What are the thoughts that are coming? And then we can untangle those thoughts, keep them in the right places and solve them correctly. Okay, so some people are feeling 5. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing how you're feeling. And yes, you can do this exercise anytime you like. I like to do this before going to bed after doing, one big day of hard work and doing so many things. Even if they're not big accomplishments, you have still done so many things. So I think this is something that you can add, some affirmations that you can add. Right. Okay. And okay. So now we have come to the next thing. As we come to the end, it's essential to stay mindful of the signs of distress. Recognizing these signs early can make a significant difference in managing your well-being. Take proactive step towards your well-being. This might include regular exercise, balanced diet, and ensuring you get enough sleep. Small, consistent actions can lead to significant improvements over time. Right now, things might feel difficult, but they'll get better over time with your, all the actions that you're taking. Remember, it's okay to seek professional help if you need. Reaching out to a therapist is not a weakness. It's a sign of strength. You're welcome to reach out to us therapists at Mindtribe and reach out for techniques to let go of what is bothering you. We can prescribe you mindfulness meditation. So this butterfly hug was just one thing. Right, there's so many other things. This was one quick thing because we only had a few minutes together today. So there are other things like mindfulness meditation, visual imagery, journaling, etc. as per your individual needs. So we can customize it as per you. And your journey towards healing and growth continues beyond this workshop and every step that you take towards a healthier, happier you. And before closing the workshop, I want to hear from you guys. Any questions, anything that you want to share, please feel free to raise your hand and we can go one by one. Okay, I see a new raise of hand. Gopal, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, a very good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I really enjoyed your workshop. So I have this question. Okay, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, loud and clear.
Okay, so I was asking that as we know that our unconscious mind is maybe 9 times bigger than our conscious mind. So we are constantly living in the conscious state and we are like in many ways that we are unaware of our real problems, that we avoid certain situations. We prefer to live in comfort and security most of the time, which is good at some level. But it happens that we are living a superficial lifestyle. We are unaware of the triggers or the problems that we are facing in our life by indulging in so many things that, for example, social media, whether it could be a hobby, whether it could be so many substance abuse and a lot of things. But we are running away from real problems. We are living a superficial life. So what we can do to see deeper in that 90% unconscious mind. So what inside of that? So yeah,
right.
I'm not trying to I'm not able to explain the things vividly, but I'm sure you're getting the point what I'm trying to explain.
Right. I think I understood. So what I understood was that you were saying that there are so many things that we have to do in a day and we are constantly doing something or the other. And there are so many things that are there in our, say, unconscious, subconscious mind that you are not aware of and how we can, know about it. And if there are any, issues that we can deal with from that area. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. So I know, constantly thinking about our unconscious, subconscious mind and, what are the challenges that happened in the past will be, kind of staying in the past, and that's not how it should be. We should keep moving forward. But it's also very important to take some time out in a day. I would say we can do this daily. Just, have few minutes, 10-15 minutes to yourself, and just reflect upon what has happened. And, sometimes even when we are doing something very simple, these thoughts come to us in, different ways. They can come to us in symptoms of anxiety, symptoms of feeling low, feeling, weird feeling. So just, look into it. Just pause for a minute, pause for a few seconds or a few minutes and understand, okay, this is the feeling. Let me see, where is this coming from? Just give yourself the time, because you give your time to so many people. It's also important to give yourself that important time. And yes, you can always take help from other people, your loved ones, your trusted people, or a therapist to see, what are challenges that you're facing. And if you're not able to make sense out of them, we are always there to help you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Indrakshi, would you like to go ahead?
Yes. Hi, firstly, good afternoon. And I really enjoyed the session. So I would want to say that this particular thing, butterfly hug, like right now when I was doing it, this really helped me a lot. Like I was just feeling so light. So just because one person mentioned he was feeling heavy, I just wanted to share this, and I would really like to try this, and the feedbacks you've said and how we can improve, that really helped. Just wanted to say that, and I just wanted to say thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was very kind, and I'm really glad you did the butterfly hug and you felt nice. It's also one of the things I personally like to do. Thank you so much. And we have, I think, let me take some few people. Wait. Reju, okay, go ahead. I'm not able to see all of you guys. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So as I was mentioning, the complex childhood trauma has made a terrible impact on my career. I had to quit it in order to prioritize my mental well-being, and also my life. I have not gone into any relationships or maybe even friendships because I have the trust issues stemming from my childhood, because I was never loved or cared. So having gone through all this, facing depression, not being able to maintain my employment, I'm still stuck in the house of my origin, where I'm not even, properly cared or treated. Yes, that was the thing right from the beginning. So letting go of that is really difficult for me. So I come across all this resentment, grief, anger, everything of that sort, all those big emotions, and I have nobody to help me co-regulate it. I'm still finding it on my own. So I think one of the key takeaways from this workshop is the radical acceptance, which is really very hard. I know it theoretically, but putting into practice, it is becoming really difficult, and I'm going through so much of stress for making me push through that, radical acceptance. So would you mind giving me some other ways of coping with this, especially living with narcissistic parents, and especially a mother who has used me as a therapist my whole childhood to deal with her problems with my dad?
Right. Thank you so much for sharing. And I know I'm really sorry all these challenges that you faced. And this workshop is not, not just the end. So your healing starts from here. So there are so many steps that you can take. You can take away the circle of control. You can also take away, radical acceptance. And also, as you said, there were, instances in your childhood where you also needed that support, but you ended up giving that support to your parents. So as a child, you also, you need your financial assistance, emotional assistance from your parents. And when that's not given, things just fall apart. We emotionally were not able to understand ourselves growing up. So you can take away things from, dialectic behavior therapy, wherein you will see things like understanding these thoughts and emotions. Those are contradictory emotions. We feel so many intense emotions. Also, inner child healing, reflecting upon your past experiences can be something really great. And also, I want to highlight this as well for you and for other people also, that we are providing counseling services here. So it would be a session for 45 minutes to 750 rupees, but your first session is absolutely free. So this is as a token of appreciation. You can come to us, you can share your problem in detail so that we can understand and give you individualized techniques to deal with these problems. And you can also see other packages that will make you our pocket friendly. So this is something that I wanted to highlight. And we have affordable counseling, group therapy, mental health resources such as workshops, group therapies that you can join, which are absolutely free of cost. And we have two people here. It's me, Shivangi Tanwar, and Mr. Dolphina Xavier, who is helping you in the chat box, answering your questions. So you can reach out to us or Mind Tribe using these links, phone numbers, and we will be there for you to understand. Right. So I hope, keep growing. Yes. And it was for every one of us, everyone, as therapists, as people, we need some person to support us. Right.
And thank you so much for giving a safe platform. I mean, when I open to many people, they judge my emotions, they judge my experiences, but I really feel validated, and thank you for giving a safe platform to open up.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. It takes a lot of strength to, come and share. Yes, Dimple, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, I would like to go ahead and say a heartfelt thank you. I mean, I have also gone through a lot of mental health issues, but thanks to your workshops,